3, 2, 1. Nice. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra. This is Improv, and I'm your host today for another episode of Talk About It Tuesday, where we talk about all things the arts and the people who love them. I am joined by a very, very, very special guest, the amazing Lisah.
Hello.
Lisah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
In a nutshell,
Nice.
career-wise, I am a storyteller, and I do that through film, through stage, through dance, writing, things like that.
That's
and
awesome.
Acting and improv.
Acting and improv. Yeah. So Lisah is a friend that Angelica and I have made through UCB because we were taking some tune-up improv classes because you can never stop learning. Lisah, what got you into doing all of these shindigs?
That's a really great question. When I was younger, I would read mystery novels.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that would be so cool to write one of these. And I had it, that was the last thought about I had from when I was a kid. And then the next time I thought about it was way after I started my career. I always loved dancing. And so I started my career in dance. And I think that taught me so much about the arts and professionalism and dedication and working hard. And I still love dance, and that's where the main portion of my career exists.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, I had this idea of a dance that involved a bunch of different people that had a variety of abilities. And I was like, how do you take people with all different abilities and make them have an in-sync dance?
Mm-hmm.
And as I was creating it, I was like, oh, but this has a story behind it. And so I started writing the story, and I was like, but I need to learn how to write. And so I started learning how to write. And so now I'm writing this musical, and that has led me into writing more stuff. And then as I'm writing musicals and screenplays, I'm like, but I should know how to act in order to learn how to write properly. So I started taking acting classes, and I loved the acting classes. And that's kind of something I had in the back of my head as a child as well, but it wasn't the cool thing to do, so I didn't do it. I wasn't a cool person, but it wasn't a considered.
What is cool, you know?
I tried. So I started taking acting classes, and I was doing this intensive the beginning of this year. That one of the classes was improv, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, where can I do more of this? And then I found UCB, and now I'm just going up the UCB curriculum. Yeah. And yeah, one thing just keeps leading to the other, and I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years in terms of what I'm going to be interested in doing next. But I'm excited to see the web constantly weaving together, and all of it is still connected. So
yeah, that's so cool. So with I'm going to ask you, since you do have so many different branches to you, so we'll start with dance. How does dance play into your everyday life?
Significantly. I learned a lot about anatomy in dance and health in dance. And so simply just walking around is I'm fully aware of how I'm standing, and I'm fully aware of I'm in pain, and this is why, and I don't have to go to the doctor because I already figured it out myself. That's a big element of what I learned in dance, but I also understand body language a lot more. And just, it's just, movement is so interesting as I walk around and I see people in everyday life.
Yeah, that's 80% of a person's personalities within their body language. Yeah, definitely going into dance. I've taken 2 dance classes in college, and then I was like, I'm a dancer. But it's true. It was intense, just from doing it as just a class, an extracurricular class. And I had better posture. I was fully aware of how I was walking throughout the day. And I was like, oh no, my professor would not be happy if I was to slouch over right now. So, and then it helped with doing body language within improv. So going into the improvisation, how does improv play into your everyday life now?
I definitely have easier conversations with people. I definitely write easier. And I'm also I also, because you understand game a little bit more,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
also able to like hear what somebody says and be like, this would be the really messed up way to say this. And it's like a really weird thing. Um,
Yeah.
Improv is just, it's so playful, and it's so, there's you have to collaborate. Like you can't exist in improv by yourself, unless like you're doing a weird monologue. But you just have to be with each other. And I honestly think everyone should take improv so that
Yeah.
we can actually start to like listen to other people that are surrounding us and communicate a little more effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Angelica was one of the shyest people I knew growing up, like as my sister, because I was really loud off stage. I was always getting my folder taken away in kindergarten and like all this stuff. Because I love talking. I love making friends. Soccer wasn't for me. I would make friends on the field. I wouldn't actually play. And and then our parents had put us in theater classes and stuff. But when I started doing improv in like late high school, early college, it was like a whole new perspective on life. I was like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels weird here. Like, I'm not the only one who has anxiety when they step up here, Everyone's like, oh no, what's going to happen, So I think that group mentality, I think improv is a great positive light to group think, of like, we're all this together. We're probably going to mess up, but in the mess up is probably what's going to make the scene great,
Mhm.
Uh, so how was it for you doing that virtually?
I've never taken improv not virtually.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I don't know the difference. I feel like I'm such a physical person that I feel like I would be a lot more physical in person. But then again, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea what it would be like.
I mean, we don't even know what the bottom half of each other's bodies look like. So.
I know. If I saw somebody in person, I would be so confused. Like the time I saw Sarah on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I was like, I don't know if that's her,
Yeah.
because it's just, I just see her
We
face
just
all
know
the time, and she turns to the side. I'm like, I don't know if that's the side of your head.
know. Yeah, Sarah was our amazing teacher for Improv 201. Now I would like to ask you, if you could eat any taco in the world, what would like your dream build be?
Oh gosh. I love tacos. I just, your generic like ground beef, lettuce, sour cream type of deal
Uh-huh.
in a little crunchy shell. That's fantastic. But I also like when the crunchy shell is wrapped in a soft shell.
Oh, you're a double sheller. Okay.
Like I like, because then it's like the softness on the outside, but then you get a little bit of a crunch, and then you got the creamy stuff on the inside. And I also really like burritos, which is not the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing, but
I
I
mean,
really
they're similar.
like tacos and that general food group.
Are you like a spicy person or a mild person?
I used to be a very big spicy person. I used to have like, I mean, pepperoncinis aren't that spicy, but we would have contests, my cousin and I growing up, just like who could eat the most pepperoncinis in a row. And then you'd be like suffering in the bathroom for hours like
Awesome.
afterwards.
Awesome.
So I used to be, but now I still like spicy things, but if I get a taco, it'll be more like under the spicy radar,
Mhm.
but not completely mild.
I see. It tells a lot about a person what kind of taco you eat. I want to know, what can I not tell just by looking at your face?
I think what you can tell, I think I often have a very serious face. Like I'm like concentrated often. I think you can tell that about me.
Mm-hmm.
You probably can't tell that I guess have a softer side, but it's not that prominent. So I guess we can't really say that.
You have yeah, when I first met you, you looked like very, I'm ready to learn, man.
Uh-huh.
But you were very, it's funny, while you're doing improv, you're very giving. So I can tell your softer side that way. Because you're a very like helpful person in a scene. And even
Oh, that's
after
good
one
to
of our
know.
scenes, yeah, after one of our scenes, you're like, I feel like I let Alexandra down with this one. And I'm like, you did not let me down.
I don't know how to justify anything. I just give jokes and I'm just like that. I don't know why I said that.
It's fine. I do a one-liner, it's fine. So normally when I ask people what can't I tell just by looking at you, I'll even tell like my students, it's what did you eat for dinner last night? That tells me a lot about you as well.
Well, I guess on the subject of food, I hate cooking.
You hate cooking?
I hate cooking so
Oh,
much.
okay.
And I mean, maybe if you saw me from like the waist down, you'd be like, okay, she eats out a lot. Um, but I actually was on masterclass last night,
Uh-huh.
and normally I watch like stuff to help you learn, you know.
Mhm.
But I was like, I need to watch something about food because I
Uh-huh.
need to inspire myself to start cooking. So I was watching this thing about how they were making ravioli. So I bought a pasta maker this morning because I'm going to try to do some home cooking.
Oh, fun.
Ordering food all the time is not good for your health and it's not good for your bank account. And I
No.
keep telling myself that, but it's been like 5 years of me doing this.
Hey, it's a great treat, but yeah,
Yeah, not me
especially,
doing like once or twice a day.
yeah, it's especially over this time we started like doing a lot more cooking. And I was like, oh, I can make things. Uh-oh. I shouldn't spend so much money. We just got our own almond milk maker. So
Ooh.
we'll see how that
Oh, you
goes.
haven't tried it yet?
No. What would you say is like a PSA about the arts? Maybe to someone who would want to try it or just like in general?
Yeah, you mean like just in general or as like a career or?
Either way, if someone like hasn't watched it before or wants to
Mhm.
get into it.
Mm, well, for people that are doing it as a career, I think the worst advice I have gotten throughout my career is have a backup plan. That
Mm-hmm.
has always been the worst advice. So my reverse advice would be don't have a plan B. If you sincerely want to do this, you have to 100% put everything you have into it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was starting up for my career, I wouldn't let myself have a backup plan, even though I was like pleasing people and having like side majors. And eventually, like my junior year, I was like, no, I'm just doing dance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing all these other majors. And as I was moving into the field, I was getting side jobs that had to do with the career. I have never waited tables. I have never done anything outside of what I currently do. So anything I did was like working in a theater or teaching the art form, something like that. And doing that, you actually wind up networking with a lot more people.
Yeah.
If you're standing there waiting tables, you're not getting as much information as you could possibly be getting
Right.
along with that paycheck.
Yeah.
So that would be like my big advice thing. If somebody's considering going into the arts, but is not like super passionate about it, this is a field that you absolutely have to be passionate about it in order to just function.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should ever do anything they're not passionate about. Like, I mean, I love what I do every single day. I wake up, I get to write, I get to dance, I get to teach, I get to do all of this stuff, and I would literally do nothing else with my life.
Yeah.
If somebody asked the question of like, what would you do if you weren't an artist? I'd be like, I would do art. Like
I don't
there
know.
is, I don't understand the question. There's no other
Spontaneously
choice.
combust. I don't know what.
Right. So that would be my advice. It's like, if you really want to do it, full-heartedly do it. If you're debating doing it, find out if you absolutely love it before you fully throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
And if you are just like, I just want to enjoy art, please enjoy art.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the greatest ways to experience humanity and the potential that we have. And just the more people that can experience and appreciate art, I think the better the world's going to be, because we can start empathizing a little bit more.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that. When you go into the arts, it's always great to do jobs within it, because that networking is what's going to help you the most. You know,
Mhm.
if you're able to learn from other people, or even grab a mentor, that's like such a gift to like just snatch a mentor from somewhere.
Yeah.
Because because I think we're fortunate enough to also be in a working environment that is very helpful. You know, people want to help in here,
Yeah.
especially if you're going into like theater or improv. These are people who love working with people. They love talking, so they're going to want to teach someone. And then with dance, it's such a group collective of, you know, you're working with other people constantly. And I've found that like my dance professors were so great with understanding people and like what each individual person needed from them, kind of thing. So yeah. And with the writing, I think that writing, whenever you do it, you write a little bit every day, you know, and it helps. You know, the
Mhm.
passion is the key. Like you were saying, you have to know that you want to do it. Like I did tech for 4 years, and then I was like, yeah, I like doing tech. This is great. I
Yeah.
hurt myself multiple times and I was like, yeah, I got a splinter, you know?
Yes, you should. I say that a lot. You should be excited about the pain you experience. Like when I
Yeah.
was in college, I would come home with like blisters and floor burns, and it would be the most rewarding thing. This sounds like really psychotic, but you get in the
No.
shower and your skin is burning, and you're like,
Yeah.
yes, I did something good today.
Right. Hey,
Like
if you bleed
you
on
should
a
love
set
those
piece,
pains.
yeah, if you bleed on a set piece, that is a good luck thing for the show. That's okay.
Right? You were doing your work.
You do. I did my job, guys. Oh, well, it has been a treat interviewing you. So I would like to ask you, what are ways that people can keep up with Lisah?
You could go to lhgcreative.org. That is my company's website. It's a school for kids, for anyone that's in Brooklyn. And it's also, we're a production company in the making, but I'll also put like any projects that I'm personally working on will be in there as well, even if they're not directly related to the company.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, anything involving Lisah will be linked down in the description below. So please, please, please go and check that out. I want to say thank you so much for interviewing with us today. This was a treat.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful, and glorious rest of your Taco Tuesday. If you would like to take any improv classes, please make sure to go to www.thisisimprov.com for kids, teens, adults, and corporate team building. If you would like to take any sketch writing classes as well, again, www.thisisimprov.com for kids, teens, and adults. I want to know if you like histories, mysteries, ghost stories, and Florida, because we do have a podcast called This Is Legends of Yesterday, where we talk about all of that and more. So if you have a story, something weird, funny, or scary about Florida that you would like to write in, you can definitely email info@thisisimprov.com and hear your story on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. I want to say again, big thank you to Lisah for being here. Thank you, you beautiful creatures. Goodbye.